Greetings, everybody, and welcome to episode 17 of the Sitcast, aka the Siblings and Cardboard podcast. I'm your host, Noah, joined by my buddy / co-host, Thomas and Donnie. Whether you're a veteran card gamer or a first timer just testing the waters, we're all siblings in cardboard. Guys, how have things been since the last time we talked? And how is DreamHack, Thomas?
Well, it was going to be like my most expensive sort of like Las Vegas Nats event that I'd gone to just because of how parking and paying for DreamHack goes. But I actually cashed out.
Hey.
Yeah, okay. That's right. I heard you did pretty well.
Yep. So I got third, fourth. I split with Aaron Cuthberth. He's a local. We agreed to just split whatever the difference was between second and third, fourth, regardless if he got first or not. And then we played it out, and I really wanted to win because I think I had a great matchup going into Brody and had a good chance to take him down. But Aaron was running really hot, and he max V'd me on the last card in his deck. He had one card in his deck, and he threw a max V for lethal, almost fatigued him out. I was running Levia, had a great day. I faced a Katsu and rolled 3 6s in a row with a Plasma Fed out. So I don't think you could ever win against that.
That's cheating. I'd be looking for loaded
Brody
dice.
was on Dromite. I didn't actually get to play him. We missed each other in the brackets. Aaron was on Dash Inventor Extraordinaire. And I think that's not a very good matchup for Dash. It's pretty tough. I've played a good bit of it. You kind of need to play the aggro plan, but put the gun items into your deck and try to get them out as you're aggroing, which is a little bit RNG. I played Aaron in the Swiss, and probably the only reason I won against him is he played Teclocore on his turn 0, and then I arg smashed his Pounder and Teclocore on turn 1.
Nice.
So yeah, when arg smash comes in for a 2-card 10, it's pretty strong.
Man, oh man,
it's pretty good. It was a PTI event at DreamHack, right?
Yeah, it was PTI. There was another one on Sunday, which Brody also picked up. I don't know the details of that one, but I think he's finally beat Michael Feng. He has the most PTIs of any player in Flesh and Blood now.
He plays a lot. He's also really good, and it's nice to see him go into
that number 1 XP spot.
And they were pretty small because I don't know who dropped the ball advertising wise, but they were very sparsely advertised. I think Flesh and Blood officially announced it like 5 days before.
If that.
Majority of the stuff I was hearing was all, through you guys, right? So through like local channel and stuff. I get nothing on Twitter, no big announcements, nothing really hyping it up. So it is very strange. You'd think there'd be a little bit more.
I'd like to know how Brody heard about
it. Dude, he hears about everything. It's Flesh and Bloody breeze.
About like 3 days away, and he decided to fly into it.
I know how he heard about it, but he was in Orlando, and we talked about it in Orlando.
Okay.
Brody said PTIs. I'm coming to get him.
Yeah,
and he did.
He plays different decks. That's what I was going to do. I was going to say it's always nice to watch what deck Brody brings. Not to say it's going to be the meta, not to like, but it's always nice to see, hey, what hero is he cooking?
I talked to him about that too. He said he's just trying to pinpoint what he thinks is the deck that will win that day.
I don't think there's anything wrong. I think that's actually more. I think it's more beneficial to a longevity game strategy, right? Than like a short term, just mash out the games that you think is the best deck. Long term, you play all the heroes, get comfortable. As those heroes evolve, you've gotten knowledge of how they played, how they did play. It's something that cements you to the long run, rather than like a short. And he's definitely invested into this game for the long run.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's got just about every hero in his back pocket at this point. So anything that becomes meta, he's already got reps on.
Yeah,
power to him. Dude's incredible.
I've been branching out. I've been playing some different heroes. I like it. Maybe only like 2 or 3, but
what have you been up to?
The meta was small. It wasn't. I don't think there were 30 players there, but the meta was pretty diverse. There was a good representation. Notably, I don't think Rhinar was represented. Riptide wasn't represented. a couple of the other kind of lower played heroes. There were 2 Kanos.
That
And I
is
knew there were
surprising.
going to be some Kanos because we're in the southeast.
Yeah.
So my deck was prepped for Kano, even though I didn't get paired into any. There were several Azuris. There was a Dash IO, and I did drop a game to Dash IO. It was really close. I think all of my games were close. I think I had one game that was one-sided. No, I had 2. My first round in top 8 was against, I think his name is Jason Watkins. He's in the southeast area. He's not Georgia. I think he came from Tennessee. He plays Dromai and Bolton. All I remember is that Battlehard in Atlanta, he had a wig on.
I remember
Black gentleman, and he had a wig. Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Cool guy.
He plays Dromai, right?
But he was playing
Dromai?
Bolton, and
Okay.
it was really unfair. I think I threw about an average of 15 damage every turn until he died. But I think overall, it's hard to say anything about meta. It's such small, but it did feel pretty fun because everyone got to bring the deck they wanted to play. I think no one's being held up to. No one has to meta slave. Everyone brought a deck that they felt like they wanted to play and could win with.
I think that's what we're going to be seeing with this meta, especially Iceless. I mean, there's going to be some heroes that are, you got your matchups here and there, or aren't as good as other decks, but I think the meta is pretty wide open.
We'll see.
We'll talk about that when we talk about market minute and potential spoilers that maybe bring some decks in. But back to your thing, Donnie. I've been okay. I went to Disneyland. I played some Flesh and Blood, but it was all in Talishar. I was doing Disney stuff. It was fun. Whatever rides could accommodate my size, I did go on, which is a lot of them. So I had a lot of fun. The Guardians of the Galaxy ride is amazing.
I'm jealous.
Nobody that's 6'6" and is as big as me should be moving up and down as fast as I was, and it was amazing. Like, I mean, I left my seat, and that's what I know I'm in for the ride of my life. It was so much fun. And then I was like so anxious about it the second time, like mental. You're like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna, like, I'll pass out. No, it was even more fun than second, third. Like it's so much fun.
Are you 6'6"?
Yeah, right about.
The dude is very tall.
Yeah, about like 6'6".
I have literally never noticed that. How have I never noticed that you were that much taller than me?
Yeah, the problem is like I want to have scoliosis too. Sometimes like I might be hunched here, but if I'm standing up nice and straight on a good day, I'm 6'6", 6'5", 6'6", depending on which leg you measure. that's how that works.
All right. Well, for reference and comparison, my little brother, my baby brother, I call him my baby brother, but dude is 6'9" and right at 450 pounds. So he's a big boy too. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's just my standard of comparison is off.
Yeah,
y'all are so different.
You guys are different.
If you guys, well, he's staying with me for a little while, and he is probably gonna start coming with me to the Armories on Tuesday, maybe on Fridays, if we can work out the schedule. At least for a little while. So it'd be nice for
no Kano shenanigans, or is that
no
the
promises.
other one?
No promises. He likes Kano, but he's been playing Leviah lately. We've been playing a lot of Flesh and Blood at the kitchen table for the last few days, and I've been still testing out Uzuri, still trying to get the reps in, try to learn something new, buff up my fundamentals of the game. And he's been playing Leviah, and I've just been getting wrecked.
I love that matchup.
Just been getting wrecked by his Leviah.
It's actually hard for both players, right? Because the disruption can be really scary for Leviah, because you could find yourself unable to turn off Blood Debt because you kind of use your arsenal to keep yourself safe. And then Leviah doesn't get to, her taking one card sometimes doesn't prevent you from taking 12 damage back to the face every turn.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. The turns that he consistently has been pulling off on me, it's not a nice feeling getting beat up by your kid
Oh,
brother,
yeah.
man. I mean, even if it is a card game.
She can have some real
She has no on
nasty
hits,
turns.
only unga
Yeah,
bunga.
just damage. Yeah, but
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
the
but
damage gets there.
Oh, it's 5,
the other
5,
day,
9, 6. Ooh.
Yeah, the other day I had him down to like 6 or something like that, and he just drew several blood rushes and Art of War turns in a row, and I died. I don't know. I couldn't give you the roadmap of how I went from 30 to death, but he got it done. I mean, it was. I wish I'd had it recorded because that was a game to watch. As far as armories and the rest of Flesh and Blood goes, I did go to Armory on Friday. Went 1 and 2, but the 1 was against a new player that I had brought with me and had just taught the game, so it doesn't really count. Got beat up by the other guys, but it's a good time. Didn't bother to go to DreamHack as I was priced out of that. It's not
The DreamHack
it was too much
Super
for me.
Armory was fine. It was just a normal armory. The prize payout was pretty good. There was like really old promos for your promo
Yeah.
choice.
I saw those promos. Those were sick.
Yeah, I got one of the Whelming Gust Waves that I'll hand off to you, Donnie.
Sweet.
I think that's like an LGS 004 or something.
Yeah, it's
it's
one of
one
the
of the
first promos.
It
I'm gonna have
looks
to play
old.
that.
too.
When you look at it, it is old.
If you still need some, Donnie, I will ask the next time we're in Dublin, because they have an old armory kit that they don't. And I've gotten some old Iron Song responses for them that they have. So there might be some luck.
Okay. Yeah, let me know for
I'll
sure.
see what I can find.
Are we ready to move on to the market minute?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
We deviated. This might be the latest market minute we've done in a minute.
Yeah,
We're
this
at
has
the-
been
okay.
a long catching up.
But the market minute, we don't have too much. I'm just gonna go through some things that are trending upwards. The market's been. I've been waiting for the next big whoosh. Even the Prism didn't take off. It took off quietly into the night, and that's because most everybody wants the high valued stuff. And so yeah, the Marvels are up. Yeah, if you missed the train for your cold foil hero, she's now at $180. I don't think she's going to get any cheaper. The Prism simp tax is insane. Your cold foil wave of realities, your halos, please just get them now, because it's only going to get worse once somebody brings a deck and tops an event. It's only going to get worse. Do yourself the favor. Just get it now. But we're going to talk about some meta heroes, and then maybe one surprising card. So take a look at Skullbone Cross Wrap. I like to talk about it. I talk about it a lot. It's up to about 65 right now. I think that's actually pretty good. I know we've trended this when it was at 40. I've trended it when it's at 50. It's still trending upward. It hasn't shown any signs of stopping. Azalea has cemented herself as a very real top tier deck. I don't think she's the best deck in the format. I don't think she's a guaranteed
I think she's
win.
going to be Bravo tier.
Always
there.
I think she is a deck that is consistent enough to wreak havoc and top events when she needs to, and she garners respect in the top echelon. Same thing with Bravo. I don't think Bravo's cards are going to go through the roof. Tectonic Plating stays at the best-selling card every time I look at Flesh and Blood, and I don't see Bravo's win. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. It's like literally, if I go to Flesh and Blood on TCG Player and I hit best-selling, it's always there as one of the best-selling cards. Never goes up.
Bravo is cheap to get into, and it's fairly simple for new players. That's a new player-driven thing.
Low floor.
I think so.
Low floor.
Really
medium
high ceiling,
right?
High ceiling at the
I
highest
think
levels.
at the highest levels, Bravo probably has there's like a little attic or a roof you got to wedge yourself into. But I think for those players, those are how you win the events.
I'm not really talking about like when you draw the perfect red 3 blue 12 turns in a row. But
the fundamental,
If Michael Hamilton was willing to bring it to the World Championships, there's something to Bravo.
Well, it's because it allows a lot of skill expression because the games go long, and longer games tend to favor skilled players, because there's more room for skill expression.
Fair enough.
And math and value, obviously, and skill. Yeah, your pitch stacking, the whole meat of Flesh and Blood. Bravo's really good at drawing games to that. But I like to keep on top of Skullbone Cross Wrap. I don't think it's going to go down at all. If anything, it might go up if Azalea somehow just starts winning. I don't see her running over the format, though. It seems everybody seems to be keeping each other in check in these weird triangles. So I don't think any one deck is really running away right now. But another card, and somebody was playing Levi, we've talked about it, is Scav Skins. We've talked about this too. And it was at 40, and now it's trending upwards of 50. So it's up $10. I know it's not crazy, but it's going up, which means Brute is becoming more popular. We already know it's going to become popular regardless, just because of heavy hitters. So here's what I'm saying, guys. Take the chance right now. Get your scabbies if you don't have them. However you got to get them, whiteboard or whatnot. Don't wait. It's easy $70 legendary the second heavy hitters drops or another spoiler. Like it'll easily go up. Just
it could be reprinted though. So
it could. There could be. Ooh,
just like Tekla Foundry Heart. We were like, Tekla Foundry Heart's this like critical card for all mechanologists, and like you're gonna have to get it from an older set, and then bam, they reprint it in bright lights. I think Scab Skins is kind of the same way. It is a critical Brute card that hasn't been reprinted since History Pack. Same as Tekla Foundry Heart.
Same as Tekla Foundry. And people obviously, you like the white border, you want the white border. If you don't want the white border, then obviously you don't want it. Tekla Foundry Heart has really impacted it. I mean, the Arcane Rising price is at, I just checked it, $70, $74 for Rainbow Foil. So it's really cut into that. There's no reason, right? So now when people think max rarity, they think gold foil. So the Rainbow Foil just doesn't have as much weight as it used to. Because you're not saying, well, it's Rainbow Foil or white border. Now you're saying it's non-foil or Rainbow Foil. And most people are totally fine with non-foil, especially with the fab deck checks and stuff.
I mean, if you're just interested in playing
checks don't affect your equipment.
Yeah, I know, but I just like to call it out. I like to foil my stuff unevenly too. It's not because I'm cheating, just because I'm lazy and I don't want to finish it. All right, let's talk about the next card. It shouldn't be very surprising, although I'm going to have to pick one up, just maybe not necessarily cold foil. Light of Soul actually went up, thankfully. I get to talk about a Fable. It's always nice to see a very hard to get card that just sunk in price start to make a little bit of a comeback. So the Rainbow Foils are back at 75 now, actually about 80, which is pretty good. I mean, it was down to about 60 or below, 55, I think, at its lowest. And so it's starting to get a little bit of life. Obviously, the new Prism weapon has something to do with it.
Because you want to swing with the Heralds or the Angels and use their ability, she's going to be very soul starved.
Right.
This just adds soul.
Just adds a way to put soul. I think that's what it is. I mean, it's a great card. If you draw it in your hand, it's like it's made for her almost, that or Bolton. Let's be real. The only two that are using it. But it is nice to see the Fables going back up. So if you were wondering or were thinking about getting one, which I was in cold foil, which I still want yours if you have it.
I think it's promised to Mender to pay for the travel cost to Battle Hard in Orlando.
Well, if that's what it is, it's fine. I'll figure it out. We'll get there eventually. I think I have a Rainbow Foil one. And then the last card, which you didn't see any at DreamHack, but that doesn't mean he's not making a splash, is actually Intoxicating Shot. I've watched this card go up from about $2 now, all the way back up to $8. That's right. Intoxicating Shot is a $7.50 non-foil, about $8 foil. And I know what you're thinking. Huh. Does this mean Riptide's real? No, but it just means that there's enough interest that people are looking at this hero.
So there was another, I can't remember where it was, but it was a smaller kind of like, not really private event, but it was like a 1K, right? So it's close to a PTI as far as prize payout goes. And there, one of the people from the Card Guys Discord was in the finals on Riptide. So the deck does have some legs. I don't know if you're going to show up to a calling and win 14 rounds with it, but you could definitely win some smaller events.
The deck is good. Solid. Sort of.
It's fine.
Until you're against a person with a weapon that you could swing infinitely, and then that's it. And you're the worst deck ever designed. Nobody can interact with you, and you can't interact with the other person.
It depends, right? Because like you say that, but Dash Inventor Extraordinaire is like the signature infinite weapon, and she hates Riptide.
Yeah, but you're constantly giving it go again.
Her gun turns on literally every single trap he owns.
Right. Like that. I mean, granted, Kadachi's still technically turn frailties, whatever. But I'm talking about, I guess it's only
You're
warriors,
just
right?
referencing Decimator Great Axe.
Is it only warriors? Is there anybody else with a dedicated weapon that just a one for? Yeah. Okay. So guardians, rune blades.
Oh no, but Anathos turns on some of his traps too because it has increased.
You just never pitch for the 6. You just pitch for the 4 every time.
Roots and the claws, maybe.
Yeah. Anything can pay, but you just don't give them go. Anything you just physically can swing.
Yeah, just roll dice. Right. Yeah, just use action points instead of go again. True.
That's the problem with Riptide is when heroes can absolutely stop interacting with his entire toolkit. He just I don't know what you do. I really don't.
Blood Rot Pox shot arrow is really good still. All right, what else?
There is some good stuff. Nope, that was it. I wanted to pick 4 things that were trending. Kind of talk about 4 different decks.
I think it's cool that Intoxicating Shot went up though.
It is. I actually think that I would like to see Riptide in a very nice hybrid build where he's doing the whole turtle thing, where he's got the traps when he needs them. I like the reel in card. I think it kind of helps either get the traps into your hand when you need them, and then get them out of your deck so you're a more consistent aggro deck, or vice versa, turtle up for. I really like what they're trying to do. He's got an internal design flaw with some heroes that makes it. I don't know what they're going to do.
We're getting fed one card at a time to see where the power level is balanced, where they can get where the knife edge is, because something like Reland, that is a very powerful card.
Yeah,
it is a very, very powerful card.
Anything that says pitch some cards, draw a bunch of cards, has potential to be very strong. We'll just have to see where it goes. But it's strong enough that you look at it and automatically you could say that it has limited the trap design space a little bit, right? Because now you have this card that could just draw a bunch of traps.
It's also limited the resource spending from him as well, and probably the amount of it. Because that's a lot of resources to just put in your hand for free potentially. So imagine they give him a resource dump.
Yeah, I don't think he has one, right? Because most of the time with Riptide, you try to run Cheerios.
So if they give him some crazy resource dump down the road, but oh man, they got to be real. That's what I'm saying. I like how LSS does the whole 1 card walk it kind of thing. Hey, put it out, walk it, put it out, walk it. Oh, we went too crazy. Let's bring it back. Hopefully they seem to be pretty good on that.
Let's jump into the news spoiler.
Yeah, let's get moving.
Yeah.
So we only got one this week, other than an alternate art card, which I'm excited to talk about too. Sonata Galaxia. It's a red card, block 2, Runeblade action. This costs 1 less resource to play for each rune chant you control. Search your deck for a Runeblade aura with cost X or less, put into the arena, then shuffle. If X is 2 or more, this gets go again, and it's a double X. I think the general consensus is it's not great. There's no auras with enough effect right now that you would want to spend another card in your deck, especially a red card block 2. But tutoring is really strong. So this could be really good later.
I don't know if I share that opinion. I'm gonna withhold judgment until I actually get a chance to play with it. Because, like you said, tutoring is a very powerful effect, especially in Vincent that's craving that consistency. Even if she ends the turn by just searching out a Runeblood incantation and setting up for those next few consistent turns, just having that extra rune chant generation is huge for her. Just having that extra bit of consistency. I'm going to withhold judgment until I actually get my hands on it. And I'm going to be picking up a playset.
And I like it on Viscerai better. You could proc a rune chant with it, because it is a rune blade action, so it procs his hero power. And it looks like it feels like it's just meant to feel into this OTK Viscerai setup still. Like you're just more ways to generate rune chants and set up cards.
You have 2 rune chants, you can creepers it your opponent's turn and have that
Oh yeah, you could actually
That's
get an
pretty
extra action point with it too.
I
It
think
is
there's going to be some fun
It is
things with it.
creeperizable.
Creeperizable.
I don't know. However you would make that adjective work. The other card that we got to see that's new, and there's more that you guys might have missed it because it literally happened right before.
Oh.
But it's the new Ravenous Rabble art that's going to be in the side events from Calling's Queentown.
I need
Talk,
that card.
Yeah, that
talk
card,
about
the
a
art
card
is
that's
really
been
good.
reprinted like multiple times and now has like the sickest art ever.
It's
and it's
so
a staple.
different. It's like you got your little hee guy who's like,
It is glorious.
and now
It's-
you have
it's
like
really
some
good.
It's amazing.
dark queen with her 4 like
Yes.
underlings ripping a dude to
Mhm.
pieces.
Oh, it looks great. I'm excited for it. I don't run a deck that runs Ravenous Rabble, but I will run a deck that runs Ravenous Rabble.
It makes the new art makes way more sense to the flavor of the card than the original art too, because you know if you hit a red, it comes in for 4. There's 4 of the ladies and all. Yeah, it works a lot better with the new art. That card's going to be very pricey, I think,
Yes,
because
it is.
Ravenous Rabble is quite popular.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
I'm hoping it's not super like I know it's going to be pricey, but God, it can't be like cold foil courage 200 150 per type pricey. It can't be that.
It's probably going to be World Sigil level.
Oh
Because
no.
It's calling
Really?
Queenstown, man. Side events at calling Queenstown. It's not gonna prepare your wallet for pain if you actually want to place out of this thing.
I have to bring my phone up to get to the other spoilers because if I can't, I'm recording in Discord, so I can't like click over there or it's gonna mess stuff up.
Was there any other spoilers?
Yeah,
I thought
there
only
was.
I
I
thought there was only the one new one.
at 7:20 p.m. No, there were quite a few. There's 7
What?
of them. Yes.
7.
Yeah.
Well, we're just hearing this now.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I didn't want to. I get to surprise you guys with it, but I saw this. Okay, first one. And there's a whole series, so they're all a lot of them are pretty similar. The first one's called Wage Gold. It is a new keyword. The new keyword is universal, and that is while in any zone, this is the same class as your hero.
What?
Yeah, very cool keyword. I'm really excited
Okay.
about this keyword.
That's interesting.
So it's like generic,
I see.
but it fits into the deck, right? Meaning you could run it in Mechanologist. You could run it as if you needed to discard or if you want it to be affected by tear limb for limb, right? It's a brute card. It's called Wage Gold. It's a 3 for 7, 2 block.
Okay.
And the text says when this attacks a hero, you may wager a gold token with them. And just to remind you, a wager is if it hits, you get a gold token. If it doesn't hit, your opponent gets a gold token. And very important, what's really great, may wager. This card actually seems pretty strong. A 3 for 7. If it said you had to wager, I don't know, but may
I think
wager.
most of the cards say May, right? That we've seen so far. Does have the whole May clause? Or do any
I'm not
force you to?
sure. I have to go look at all of them, but I think that's a important distinction on a 3 for 7 because 3 for 7s fit into some decks really well. Like
Break points.
yeah. And this is a universal. So this could just
That
be
is
a
so
neat
cool.
card for popping. Like you could throw
Yeah.
this in as a popper in Mechanologist.
Because it's still considered a mechanologist for when you're boosting it, which is
Yeah, I don't
That's
know what
really-
you'd do with the gold token, but and there might be better choices like infused titanium, but it's still really cool. Okay, we have Wage Vigor, which is a guardian warrior attack action. It's also a 3 for 7, 2 block red. When this attacks a hero, you may wager a vigor token. And then we have a brute guardian, same thing except you wager a might token.
Okay.
And then we have brute warrior, same thing except you wager an agility token.
so.
Brute,
We'll say
another
are
way
these
for
all
brute to get
red?
agility.
they're
They're all red block 2s.
Okay.
They're all red 3-cost block 2s that have 7, except the Wage Gold is the only one that's considered universal.
Yeah,
None
it
of
is
them
a
say,
generic
the other ones
that is universal.
say,
The other ones are split between the 3 classes that are in heavy hitters. I'm pretty excited about Wage Agility. That seems pretty cool. We got a way to get agility tokens. Now, this is the one that we immediately started talking about in ManSense Discord when it popped up. Smashback Alehorn. It is a 0-cost blue 2-block brute action. Create an agility and a might token. Go again.
oh no.
Now, we talked about this. We wish it was vigor. Because if it was creating an agility and a vigor token, you get to Blood Rush Bellow for free. And then you get to go again on your first attack. We want, but it's blue. So it is a block 2, but it's blue. It costs 0 and it gives you that agility token. We're talking about like the agility tokens might be cool, but how do we get them?
Agility next turn, right?
Agility
next
is
turn,
it breaks at the beginning of next turn, and your first attack that turn has go again.
So you would be using this as a setup then, the Smashback the Alehorn. Yeah.
Well, like a way to think about it that's like really nasty is even without Blood Rush Bellow is you get to do a Savage Feast for 7 go again that turns on your claws.
Ooh.
That's amazing. Just right out the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Savage Feast for 7. It's a 1 for 7 go again that turns on your claws. You do have to have another card in hand, right, to discard. But
normal
if you're
brute things, but
if you're like running Tunic,
extension, yeah.
if you're running Tunic, you get to take your Tunic counter off. 1 for 7, and if you pitch a blue, 1 for 7. If you discard, you draw. You get to swing with a claw. So it's a guaranteed 10 damage with a re-arsenal, maybe. Really good.
Gracious alive. These numbers, brutes are getting some gross numbers, man.
Oh, and let's not forget if you're playing Rhinar, you get to intimidate 1 card off that too. So you don't even get a choice what to block with.
Oh man.
Brutes.
Okay, so these are a series as well.
Scabbies, boys. They're coming up.
We got an alcohol series. So the first one was Smashback Alehorn that we just discussed. The second one is Pint of Strong and Stout. This is the Guardian action. Create a Might and Vigor token. Go again. I don't know about this one. It just seems like a Seismic Surge.
Might
you spend a whole card
to the
making
next attack, right? Or might
might plus 1 and Vigor is 1 resource.
1 resource. Okay.
Seems fine.
I'm loving these names because they are going along with that song that LSS put together with the community.
Yeah.
I'm loving this. I'm absolutely loving this.
Well, then you could probably guess what the last one is. It's a goblet of Blood Run Wine.
It was Blood Run Wine.
And this one's create an agility and a vigor token. Go again. This is a warrior action. This seems fine. Like, does this not seem pretty good?
I mean, it's a playable block 2 blue. I mean, it's a block 2. Obviously, I know why it's not block 3. I get it.
Okay, agility.
There's already so many.
To point out, it's not
card
attack
that only
action.
blocks 2?
Yeah, but
No. I get it. Agility's going to give the first on blade or the first whatever go again. And no, I don't think there's
not only that. It's going to get for Bolton. That Blood Run Wine gives his first attack go again and +1.
It turns on his. So it's not yellow though. Which I don't know if he really cares.
Yeah, that's true. It's not yellow.
I don't think it's bad. There are definitely some blues in Dorinthia where they're glorified block 3s and you're never actually going to play them unless like some dire straits occur. And I say that, but there's always that time, right? But I feel like the way that LSS is trying to shape this up, and maybe it's just because for future sets, is that there's going to be a lot more forethought, I guess, into what your next turn is on your current turn. And so obviously these cards are like set up for next turn kind of.
Yeah. And that will always be problematic, right?
Yeah.
You set up and like if I've been playing a lot of Dash.io, and if someone sees you set up 2 boom grenades, they're like, okay, I really need to disrupt Dash.io this turn. Even if I have to break some armor to do it, it has to happen this turn or I'm going to take an extra 7-8 damage. When someone says, oh, he just made an agility and 3 might tokens,
right?
Might be time to stretch for the disruption this turn.
It fits with the set though, right? The whole like you're fainting at your opponent, kind of all this like wagering. Am I going to hit? I don't know.
This set looks fun.
So I think what they've
Limited
done as well,
good.
yes, that's what I was just about to say, is that I think what they've done here is they've said, I think this is going to have an impact, maybe not now in CC, but it's going to make the limited aspect of this so much more fun. I'm not saying there won't be CC impact. I'm just saying with like these cards that are creating future turns, I'm thinking about this from a limited standpoint. Imagine now having to craft your turn around, oh man, what if my opponent just like throws out all these, creates and then goes for this wombo turn where he's extending attacks because of agility and might, you know what I mean? Like that's what your limited's going to look like.
We're already talking about agility in the Levia Discord. Like,
I'm not. Brutes are gonna. People are gonna take advantage of it. I'm sure.
If it's convenient to make agility tokens, it's going to fix a lot of problems where Levia sometimes just has to roll scabs.
No, I agree. I think in Brute having the agility is going to be a great thing. I think even in Bolton you can make a claim for it. If Dorinthia starts doing weird, I tell you, I don't mind it. I just can't see it. And I have to play with it. It's also a block 2, and I almost refuse to play block 2s. I won't play Blade Flash.
At least it's blue. Where
at least it's blue, but
you can pitch it if you need to.
Blocks.
If it's the card you have to hold because it blocks poorly, at least you could pitch it.
Not even like Final Fighting Spirit 2, or you gain the life back. It just blocks for 2. Oh,
we just gotta see.
Hurts me.
We just have to see if there's going to be a whole like 200 cards of Brute Guardian Warrior that I know. You might get something that says if you have an agility token at the start of your turn, make 3 might tokens and break them. I don't know.
The problem is that I'm playing in a mindset of Dorinthia, and I promise this new warrior is going to be playing attack actions from what it looks like. I think this is going to be a more attack action focus warrior with maybe like a decimator type weapon where you're just like dumping extra resources into it.
I feel like Kasai is going to be like an attack action sword or sword attack action sword.
Well, I think Kasai will as well. I'm saying I don't know if we're getting a new limited warrior, like a young warrior.
I think it's
outside.
I think
of
it's
her.
one. It's 6 heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
6 heroes.
Maybe we do. I don't know. I thought maybe it's just those 3. I don't know. We'll have to see.
No, those 3 aren't
James
counting.
White said that they're going to be 6 total heroes.
Yeah, 6 total. Not
think,
counting young and old.
I need to go back and rewatch Sloop Dupe's video or his podcast, the Chadcast, where he interviewed James White. I think James said that there might be 6 adult heroes. I think.
Oh my god!
Did you guys watch that one? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I did, but I can't remember the exact wording.
Okay.
So
if you're anybody listening to this that actually watched that, correct us. Correct us in the comments.
Please
because
do it.
I don't want to be wrong, and I'm going to go back and rewatch it after this. But for the moment, it is what it is. Just let us know.
Well, yeah, you guys put 2 warriors out here. I won't know what to play anymore because I've already swapped the Prism. I sold out the second I saw that she was going to be meta. I refused to play warriors into her, especially Dorinthia. But
yeah,
I mean,
maybe this different
heavy hitters
warrior
might change your mind.
Maybe this different warrior.
I mean, you might be a Kasai simp and don't know it yet.
Are you kidding? I'm always a warrior simp. Like I'm building Kasai.
He says that, but he refuses to play Bolton. Raiden Bolton is so much fun.
I rank them. I rank them like I see him. Dorinthia beats Bolton, so I put Dorinthia above Bolton. That's how I roll it. My warrior hierarchy. Kasai might be really good against Dorinthia, so I might have to play Kasai.
It's the hair, right? It's that blonde hair.
It's the hair. It's the hair.
Okay. So I think that covers new cards. We had a lot of cards though. So it's
been a heck of a week.
10 new cards in 1 week. I know 6 of them or 9 of them came out earlier today, but I think it's showing that there's a very interesting design space that they're going on with the Wager and Clash and it's just going to be a really, really exciting set to play. And when I look at it, it makes me feel a lot more like, and obviously because 3 of the classes are from Welcome to Wraith, it looks a lot like Welcome to Wraith Limited.
If it is, that's going to be a home run.
I'm hoping without like the weird triangle that everybody talks about happens in WTR, like, well, so and so beats the so and so, and the other one beats.
It's like a square because there's a katsu.
Yeah. I know we've talked about this.
But
didn't we just have this conversation?
If you
like
look at it though, hold on. If you look at it though, Katsu actually is the odd man out. If you kind of think about the archetypes, he is a little bit the odd man out there.
He's just a ninja. He's just there.
The set does feel much like a Brute Guardian Warrior set when you look at Welcome to Wraith. Like you think about those, at least in my opinion, more than Katsu. Katsu, like now when I think about Katsu, I think about outsiders. I think about outsiders.
Well, that's just because
bonds of ancestry and dishonor are just in descending wave.
Those are so good.
I think the class identity really came into full view, I guess, in Outsiders, but Ninja's still there. But the shapes aside, the Limited is actually shaping up to be a very fun format. And then that wagering and stuff, it Limited, like you're thinking about it and think about that in Limited, our Clash. Clash at Dorinthia and CC is not the same as Clash in the Warrior. So I like it. I really like this whole flavor. This is probably going to be even more fun of a Limited set than I think Bright Lights.
Oh, well.
I think I can see that too.
I don't say that because it was all mechanologists.
Outsiders. I think Outsiders, in my opinion, is like the gold standard of Limited.
I
think that's a really fun set of Limited. Like a really fun set.
Most people would argue that it was WTR because Outsiders was said to be the best Limited set since Welcome to Wraith. So that kind of establishes that WTR is the gold standard. Outsiders was great. I really enjoyed that Limited format, but I don't know if it was actually better.
I just think the hybrid class cards just
that was such a
bring so much more to the draft experience, where you don't really often feel like you have to put cracked baubles into your deck.
Yeah,
if you have to design every set with Limited in mind, which they said they're going to do, like you obviously have to make, I wouldn't say concessions, but when you look at the cards, you have to try and put things out in the world, for both. And I think they're doing a really good job. I mean, not every card is going to have some crazy CC interaction, but they are creating a very fun sphere and a reason and a rhyme to play the set and use the cards. And the Limited's going to be great. And obviously, we're going to talk about it. There will be more Limited. Not all drafts are all sealed.
Let's jump into it because I think that's the next point of discussion. Organized play changes.
Yeah,
huge.
A lot of
huge news.
I think one of them that we've literally complained about on the podcast multiple times is the 3-week schedule.
Yep.
A lot of us hate it because that basically means those 3 weeks that we can't have anything scheduled, because if you want a good chance of qualifying for something, even if you're a great player, only 1 or 2 people per day are getting that qualifier. So you're kind of like, with only 3 weekends, that's maybe 6 attempts. If that, we usually don't have that many that we get to go to all 6. Looks like they're expanding it to 4. Technically, the last skirmish was 4 weeks, but it was kind of weird because of Thanksgiving. Road to National season, I think we talked about this, will be right before Pro Tour, February 17th to March 10th. Then our PQ season will be right after Pro Tour. So man, it's going to be starting in February. Flesh and Blood gets really busy. It looks like almost for the whole year.
Yeah, I mean, we just know about the first part of the year, but yeah, it's already looking like a pretty impressive schedule, just what we know so far. I mean, we know about calling Queenstown in January, then calling Hartford, Connecticut in February, then calling Liverpool the next week in February, then calling Warsaw in May, calling Minneapolis in June, which it looks like that's going to coincide with US Nats, and US Nats is going to be 1 week before the rest of national season. So it's We know about everything. Well, we know about a lot of stuff up until US Nats.
Hartford notably is going to be limited. I think that's heavy hitters sealed. So if you want to ever, if you feel like that you struggle trying to do 14 rounds of Classic Constructed and you want to kind of high roll, I think Hartford's a good chance to go try to high roll some sealed.
I mean, if you're feeling lucky, go play Brutes all day.
Heck yeah. I will probably go to Hartford. I'll probably be going to Hartford.
Really?
I don't think it's that bad of a drive. And I figured out, like, I feel like the way to do
Hartford,
it
where?
is Hartford, Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
Drive.
So yeah, sure. Most of the Southeast, it's a pretty relaxing drive. It's nice. Not Southeast, sorry, East. But I think my strategy going forward, as long as the drive is within reason, I think Hartford is to plan to drive, but see if there's like some last minute plane tickets and just try to grab some plane tickets for like $60. Because I know that's what some of the people did to Orlando. They just grabbed plane tickets for like $50, and that's about how much gas costs.
That's what Julian said last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on Spirit Airlines and stuff like that, standby, all sorts of things. I would check. I would definitely keep on top of that.
So I think that's going to be my strategy going forward. Plan to drive last minute flights if possible, as long as it comes about to the same price point.
I think that is a good way of doing it. And we'll talk about the increase in callings and the increase in battle hardens, and obviously the extension of the weeks. But it comes with sort of I don't know if we want to wait, but the no more experience-based invites. And the reason I want to bring that up is, do you think that now that XP is no longer being factored, does that help some of these smaller non-rated tournaments, or does it hurt them?
Okay. For smaller countries in qualification, the XP is still going to count.
Right.
But for like the US, XP-based invites are a thing of the past after Pro Tour Amsterdam. Or for Pro Tour Amsterdam. Because the only way to qualify for that is the PQs. It's top rated ELO. Is that how they put it?
Yeah, top 75 on ELO.
Yeah,
we don't have all the details on what's changing about ELO, but I think they're condensing it to one rating.
Yeah, and then PTIs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so.
But I think battle hardens, callings, there's like a really healthy amount, and the experience invites for 90-day basically said whoever has the money to travel all the time is getting the 90-day experience invites, or
whoever grinds the hardest.
There was a little bit of system gaming where people were gaming the system by doing like kind of multiple armories a day sometimes. And there's not a really feels good way of tamping down on that, because you might actually be stomping on people's armories by saying, hey, these don't count, other than just getting rid of the experience invites for 90-day. And then for the lifetime experience, I don't know if I 100% agree with not allowing lifetime experience to get in. I feel like that shows that you have groups of people who've been playing Flesh and Blood a really long time, meaning since the game was in, and they still go to a lot of events, and they're still big parts of the community. And in my opinion, it would be okay to still give lifetime experience earners invites.
Well, they did say that there's going to be some kind of community appreciation thing, or there's going to be XP based appreciation awards, something like that. What was the actual thing? I wrote it down.
Something about social. We'll have social achievements attached to experience.
Right, and that's something Magic the Gathering did like back in the early 2000s, I think, where they would like send you stuff
or something.
They would literally send you promotionals and stuff once you hit like certain milestones and stuff for showing up to events and playing at events. I think I have a hard time believing it's going to come out to the same value, because the way you got to look at it is being top 50 experience right now is worth about $1,500 a year. If you go to like 3 events and in those 3 events you got invited because of your experience, I have a hard time believing that you'll get that same value. They're going to make people work for their invites, which is always a good thing, but I think it's always good to reward longtime players and players with certain amounts of celebrity due to their involvement in the community.
That goes back to the conversation we had many episodes ago about creating like a pro players club or something similar. Just get these pro players or make it easier for them to travel around and make appearances. I mean, I would love for LSS to come out and say, hey, that's something that we're considering. Just make it easier for them to travel and show up. I mean, I would love to rub
maybe the social achievement does that. And maybe instead of giving an auto invite, maybe they go, okay, the top percentage of experience earners, we're going to give them 1 PTI per year. They just get it for free. I could see that. It would effectively do almost the same thing, right?
Yeah, just instead of being invited to everything, yeah, just give them one opportunity to cash it in a year. That would be good. That would be fair in my opinion.
I think
all
they're doing
speculation, but
yeah, for sure.
I think they're working towards some things. They have to know that maybe people are winning too much, or maybe people have too many PT. Like again, we had this conversation: winners winning too much and stuff like that.
Well,
I don't ever want to take away from people.
Your winners are winning too much, but they're also going to usually be the top experience earners as well.
Right.
Like Brody. I mean, he's not been playing since WTR, to the best of my knowledge. I think he started later, but he is literally on track to be #1 in the world for top XP. Along with that, he's also in top everything else on the leaderboards because
he treats it like a professional sport. Like
yeah. And
so
he's by all rights, you should 100%. And I would never want it. Just there might be a time where having 26 bank PTIs doesn't really, you know what I mean? Like doesn't really do you any. It doesn't do any. You know, like somebody else could have had it. But then again, like you got to win. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's a tough one. It's a tough one to balance. I think they do a really good job though. And I think the XP cuts is totally fine. I think still making it a social part, still something that you want to strive for. I think of it like, man, I don't want to think of it like old like game achievements or stuff like that. But you're still going to have an incentive to really bolster your experience. You're just not going to be able to like slam for 90 days and get in there and get an invite. And
I've talked to people who pushed for like 90-day XP outside of their like normal willingness to play, and they said it's not worth it either. So it's just like a miserable experience because it makes you feel bad when you lose. You know, you drive, let's say that you're really pushing XP, you drive 2.5 hours to an armory just because you've kind of calculated out the XP you need, right? You show up, you just have a bad night, you go 0-4. You get 0 experience. You drove like 5 hours to do it, and the promos aren't worth it. If it's pack per win format, you're walking away with a pity pack or nothing. And it also doesn't feel good when you are compared to that too as like just a local player. I don't know. I think the grind it's good to get rid of that. The 90-day XP, good riddance.
I think the 90-day experience is a total good riddance. I don't think that anybody should be based off of a 90-day slam grind fest. I don't think you should do it to yourself. I think you should be focusing on the tournaments that matter, going and putting your best effort for these PTIs and stuff. I just, again, hopefully in the future, like we talk about with this pro play and stuff, and obviously through sponsors and stuff, teammates and teams get to do that and kind of travel around and stuff. But maybe LSS does have that whole pro division where it allows other players to sort of seep in and get the PTI and come join the experience and play around without having to like, see the same 6 people at every top. Again, I don't want to take away from them. I think if you should push the stars, I don't think Brody should ever stop going to every tournament and absolutely dumpstering them if he could. I more power to him. I want to lose to him so bad.
I wanted to go get in the finals with him. I had it ready. That's why I switched to Leviah. I'm pretty confident in my Leviah matchup against Dromai. I got this, and just couldn't lock it out. Okay.
I think it would be an honor.
LSS also gave us a pretty strong prediction on what the competitive formats are going to be like with 50 to 60% classic constructed, 30 to 35% limited, 10 to 15% other. So that'll be like Blitz, Team, Living Legend. I'm really excited they said team. I
know.
want to go to a calling team event so bad.
That'd be really fun.
That sounds so fun.
Well, it depends on it depends on what team format. Like if
Team
it's a Team
Sealed.
Blitz, Team Sealed, Team CC. I mean,
all of it.
honestly, anything.
Yeah,
Anything Team
Just
Sealed
anything.
would be kind of fun.
Team Sealed is super cool, but it's also really cool the idea of that you can maybe have your strongest player build an aggro deck so they finish the game faster so they can come and help their other players, right?
Yeah.
Because if people aren't familiar with team format, not only can your teammates comment on the game as long from your knowledge point of view, if they ever walk across the other side of the table, I think they're no longer allowed to say anything anymore. They have to make sure that they only maintain your point of view of your cards. They could even touch your cards, like so they could push something forward and stuff. So I think team is really cool. I would like to see that become a more popular format. I like people coming together to create a better product, and a team is like a really good competitive product. Team games are fun.
Yeah, for sure.
The couple interactions I've had with Team Sealed were super fun.
And
so to see that
I hope we don't see a lot of Living Legend callings. I mean, some people like
it
it.
a little
It just
bit.
doesn't seem like. At first, I was a little excited about it, and then I didn't get to play during the Starvo meta. That was before me, and now I see how bad it was when we had like top 8 all Starvo, allegedly top 16 all Starvo at the first Living Legend event. And now we could jump into our next subject matter, right?
Yeah.
The heaviest banhammer I think I've ever seen.
Well, bans, air quotes.
Okay.
Restricted.
Restricted.
We
is
restricted a
basically
lot
the
of
same.
stuff.
we're getting Yu-Gi-Oh in the Living Legends format is what it is.
They
It's interesting.
restricted 7 cards down to 1 copy each, not for just Starvo, everybody, which is where I kind of not a big fan. But let's go over the list. Awakening, that card should just be banned.
Yeah, outright banned. It's probably one of the most busted cards I've ever seen in existence.
Channel Lake Frigid, big question mark. I don't understand why that's banned or restricted. But
Starvo can use it.
Yeah, it's because Starvo can use it.
It's because Starvo. Yeah.
Hypothermia.
It's because
sure.
Starvo can use it.
Restricted's fine on that one. Oakenold, Starvo, Starstruck.
Starvo. Have you heard about it?
I get it. But
have you heard how bad turning off your
on.
entire opponent's deck is because he gets to dominate
We're
it and
putting
say,
Awakening and Starstruck into the same tier. It's so weird to me.
No. It's not that they're in the same tier. It's that
can't ban
they were
the card.
touching the consistency on Starvo. They needed to touch how many disruptive effects he has in his deck. I mean, Starstruck is not
apparently.
on the
Let's
same
just
power
get
level
rid
as
of almost all of them. He's walking out with crippling, or he's walking out with Spinal Crush. That's it.
Yeah, and even
Crippling Crush
Spinal
got
Crush is on
restricted too.
notice, according to Brian Gottlieb.
The
Any
problem
disruptive
is-
effect in Starvo is on notice. Consider
And
yourself
Warmonger's
on
Diplomacy,
notice,
as
quote.
we predicted, would get tampered down. It's also restricted.
Yeah.
But it's funny
100%.
because Starvo also played that too.
why not?
Well, Warmongers was a hit to give the other heroes an opportunity to actually play the game. Specifically, Chain and Viserai, and heck, I don't know anybody else. Those are the first 2 that come to mind. The Rune Blades, to give the Rune Blades a chance to actually play the game in the Living Legends.
So
Legacy,
someone
but-
posted the handshake meme, and on one side of the handshake was Azalea, and on
Yeah.
the other side of the handshake was Viserai, and in the middle of the handshake is wondering why LSS banned Warmonger's restricted Warmonger's Diplomacy in Living Legend, but not Classic Constructed.
Yeah, it's too good for Living Legend, but not too good for Classic Constructed. How's that work?
So because the way that they want the Living Legend format to be is like a Wild West where everything is usable, but if one person is crushing the meta, or I guess they want to shake it up without banning the cards. So specifically what I read, they refuse to ban
Starvo.
a card. Yeah,
no.
Ban Starvo.
They don't refuse to ban stuff. They will eventually. They will if they need to, but they
This is
decided
their-
to liberally apply restrictions to begin with.
They're gonna
But
have
in
to
that
ban
They're
him.
going to
article-
keep restricting cards out of Starvo's deck list until the dude is putting titanium baubles in his deck. Like,
And you know what the crazy part is? He'll still win because that hero should just not exist.
there's going to be just a random assortment of like blue block threes. You might start seeing yellow elemental cards just so his elemental's consistent enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They
It's
should
just so weird. I know the Living Legend format is they want players to do powerful things, but Starvo is like living legend.
Starvo.
He needs to go to his own tier.
No, he is. Starvo is specifically what most people wanted to play in Living Legend. Most
Clearly,
people
because there was
wanted to play Starvo again.
From all evidence pointing to the fact that no one registered a deck other than Starvo. If you look at top 16,
Why don't they just
Yeah.
errata him? Just like he's gone out of just errata the hero and bring it so it's more in line with the Living Legend format and at least enjoy the hero. Like you
At this
gotta
point,
fix it.
It's a
Otherwise,
little
you're
late for an
no.
errata.
By the time you
He's-
errata him, you would just ban him.
but they need
Yeah.
to like he can't exist in the format and they're gonna drag the format down to make him exist
He
in it. when
literally
they
just
should
gets to
get
play
rid of him.
every broken elemental card in one deck,
Yeah.
along with the really strong Guardian
Just
cards and
errata
the
that boy out
strong
of
Guardian armor
elemental.
kit.
It's cheating. It's absolutely cheating.
I thought
Whoever
everyone
sat
thought it
there
might
and
be a
thought
little
that
bit
was
okay.
a good idea. We need to have a talk because that's crazy.
Everyone thought it might be a little bit okay, and then we saw an actual application where
come
people were
on.
playing for a serious prize. The serious people brought Starvo, and Starvo kicked everyone else out of the brackets.
Yeah. It will continue to happen. It'll probably still happen with the restricted cards. It will probably still happen. You will figure out a way to just make your game plan. Oh, I only have one of these cards? Okay. And then you just run the game plan. Run game plan. I got to see all these cards.
I like
and
to
then you run that
think-
game plan.
I actually like to
That's
think
a
that
lot
they
of
play
touching.
tested this restriction really heavily, and they found that he was good, but they knocked off so many points off his consistency. I don't think they just do any of their bans and restrictions off of very little data or play testing. I think there's a ton of internal play testing. I just don't
for sure.
I personally don't like it because I don't like the fact that they go, oh, Starvo's too strong. Let's get rid of Icelander's signature card. Icelander's signature card, Channel Lake Frigid, is restricted.
Can they just restrict it in Starvo and not anybody else's deck? Or is that too bullying? I don't understand. Like, why can't we just say if you're playing Starvo, but then I guess you have to do a whole bunch of deck checks and it creates a whole bunch of unnecessary
now you have to
judge
do
work.
deck checks to make sure there's only one copy. Like,
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I
mean,
my whole thing is if you're gonna drag a format down for one hero, I think you really got to think about it. The hero is potentially a problem to the format that it's supposed to live in.
yes,
Like,
he is. He definitely is, and I think he definitely needs
red flag.
I think they should just ban him and try the event without him and see how it felt. If people liked it, then leave him gone, and if people don't like it, bring him back and then tune him out. I think
They got to errata him somehow and just nix his elemental card. Or like some part of that toolkit has to go
I don't know.
so that other heroes can still exist.
This is a lot of doctoring to this deck list, guys. I mean, yes, Starvo is the most broken hero in the history of Flesh and Blood. Period. Full stop. But people like doing broken, busted things. That's the whole purpose of the Living Legend format. That is the whole purpose of it, is to let people experience this absolutely degenerate bullcrap.
Yeah, so two less Awakenings, two less Oaken Olds, two less Crippling Crushes, and two less Starstrucks. I could see how that you would still be able to do broken things. Your consistency is just much lower, and I guess that's fine. I'd like to see how a Living Legend tournament rolls out now.
Mm-hmm.
What if it's just all
I
Shane?
want to see what this is at. I want to see
What if now that Warmongers is at one, it's just all Shane all day because now there's no Starvos and it's just like, oh, and only one Warmongers, Shane and Viscerai. Now it's just Shane and Viscerai all day.
I mean, you could always Cadaverous
In which
Contraband
case
to get the
they'll fix
Warmongers back.
I'm just like, do we unrestrict warmongers, but we leave like I'm just where does it?
Maybe,
No, I think I wouldn't have mind if they just got rid of Warmonger's diplomacy period out of Living Legend format and just tried it without it and see what it did.
You want to get rid of it as CC too? Because I might take you up on that.
It's whatever. I think it's so funny. I see a lot of people.
Card is not going anywhere.
I see a lot of people play it and then forget that they played it, and then they like, oh, I messed up my own turn.
Yeah.
So
the only thing I hate is I can't double Warmonger's diplomacy because you pay war. I hate it. I'm in
wait,
and I'm just like, I want to.
You could play two. You just have to you have to use creepers, right? Or no, creepers is Runeblade action, isn't it?
The only you can play two is if you call peace.
Yeah, you just need eloquence, right? No, not eloquence.
Why would you play two on the same turn?
I don't know. I was just thinking of like war and peace yourself.
So you just can't do anything?
Yeah, sure.
What?
You could still technically you could still play Art of War. It's an instant.
Or other instance, sure.
It's an instant. You can still get your instance.
All right. There were some other changes, but it was to Blitz and Commoner. There was no changes to Classic Constructed, and I think,
good call.
Yeah.
CC's
most notably they brought Aether Wildfire back into Blitz.
Because what's his face is gone. They can do it.
Yeah.
There's no wizards.
Yeah, there is a wizard. There's one wizard.
And he can still one-shot you all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, he's already doing really well. He's just going to speed run out of it anyway. Emperor, you talking about Emperor? Emperor picked up 100 and something points off that last season. And now that Blitz has been toned down, he's probably going to just speed run the next skirmish season all the way up.
Yeah, I think Aether Wildfire,
I wouldn't even worry about it.
Yeah.
It's almost a full year before the next skirmish season. So we got a long way to go in this meta.
Well, hey.
The Blitz meta right now is what it's going to be like until next skirmish season.
Start picking up your Emperors because that deck is going to be absolute fire. No pun intended.
I think the deck is already really good. I think adding this card in, I don't think it makes it dramatically better, but it does make you a little bit more scared of what he could pull off in a single turn.
Shenanigans.
They did fix the Centauri Sabers paradox.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
So Bolton,
basically said,
sorry if you're playing Bolton Blitz right now, you still can't play Centauri Sabers until Heavy Hitters comes back. Once Heavy Hitters comes back, the Centauri Sabers transfer to the new Kasai as her signature weapon.
Again.
It's pretty much exactly what we said. They would just transfer it to the new Kasai. Commoner got some noticeable suspensions, and I think these are two really good bans. Yeah,
super good bans.
Amulet of Ice banned. That card, I played it.
Too good for Commoner.
That card is insane. Once you put it out, you're just like, you're really mean. You always just have this thing on a stick that just turns off someone's turn. And then Stubby Hammer's banned. I don't know why that took so long.
Stubby Hammers is like, if it's too good for CC and it's too good for Blitz, well, should be. It's probably too good for Commoner.
Dude, it's basically Art of War on gloves for the correct decks.
Like, what?
I love that card.
Who thinks that some of these cards are good?
I love that.
And the
thing
is,
I think that card was great. I love playing
the thing is like, I think this is such a cool ban pairing because you can't ban one without the other, because those two cards really heavily affected the other, right? If you ban Amulet of Ice and lift Stubby Hammers, one of the really fun Commoner decks, Icelander, completely unplayable against anyone who runs Stubby Hammers. You just won't win the math. And vice versa. If you're running Amulet of Ice and Stubby Hammers got banned, then your wide decks just can't beat Icelander. I think pretty good bans there. And I like the Commoner format a lot.
Commoner is a great format.
And we won't get another ban and restricted announcement until right after Pro Tour.
Good timing.
March 25th. Yeah. So 21st is Pro Tour. So it's right after Pro Tour. We'll get a new ban.
Heavy Hitters has the time to come in, settle in, throw everything into a mix, go onto a Pro Tour, and then see how the whole meta shakes up, and then they'll make some tweaks.
I actually think that's pretty interesting. I feel like that means they're very confident that they didn't print anything absolutely broken in heavy hitters.
Or
Emergency
or they are
bans?
just not scared of emergency
if
bans.
I was gonna say, or if it is, then they just have emergency bans, or they'll address it then, and they hope it won't. I think they have a pretty good timeline. The cards have to come out. You need a couple of tournaments for people to work kinks and work deck lists out. Like it takes time. I feel like that's a good timing for a next ban. I don't think anything is crazy. If it's really crazy, it'll just pop out. It'll be real obvious. We'll have to see. I don't know. I have some weird feelings that Kasai is going to have some crazy OTKs with Raisin Army, but we'll have to see how that works. Just have to figure out how to get the resources. But if there's some weird legendary chess piece or I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But I could see it. I could see them forgetting something.
All right. Did we miss anything? I think there's a lot that went
we
on
had
this week.
so much to cover this week. Yeah.
And then I
think
think
we just about got everything.
I think this next week's going to be pretty dead because when we come back, it'll be the day after Christmas or so. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all of our viewers and listeners.
Whatever
Merry
way you
Christmas and
celebrate,
Happy Holidays,
enjoy
guys.
it. Spend your time with your family.
Absolutely, it's all about family time. Go out there, play some flesh and blood at the table.
Yeah, I think our next episode will be talking about what we ate for Christmas and what our Christmas presents were more than flesh and blood. We'll have some spoilers, a few, but I even imagine like everyone's taking a few days off, right? So it's going to be really slow.
I was going to say, I would assume nothing major is going to come out. And I don't think the market is going to really pop off until the spoiler start again. Mm-hmm.
Until January.
You know what season I'm talking. Yeah. When it starts picking up again and that burning hype, especially because it's New Year's when everybody has their New Year, New You type thing going on. And everybody thinks they're sticking to their laurels and they realize that they've got all this money from Christmas and they just sink it in flesh and blood. Yeah.
And the shiny cardboard.
Right, exactly. So in January, when the market just goes through the roof, just remember about this episode when I told you guys.
Tax season starts.
When I just got my refund. Oh yeah, seriously, guys.
I haven't gotten a refund in years.
Take the slump right now. Start picking up some cards because
I'll do it the opposite way. I'll sell my cards to pay my taxes.
Not me.
Anyway.
Got anything else, guys?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's do our socials. All right. Yeah. I'll go first. You can find me at Wet the System Fab on Twitter /X, whatever you want to call it. Wet the System on Discord and everywhere else. I'm hanging out in the Card Guys Discord most of the time. We're into WoW Season of Discovery at the moment. Yeah,
I've been playing it a little bit myself, weirdly enough, on an RP server on Lava Lash.
Hey, that's the one I'm on. There you go.
That's me. I'm big role playing. I'm Johnny Twist on there. I'm a warlock. I'm role playing. I'm not really role playing.
If anyone's using their Christmas holiday to play World of Warcraft, come find us.
Lava Lash it up. But I'm always in the card. Well, I'm not really always in there, but I'm in there sometimes. I'm at Big Max Fab on Twitter. That's pretty much where you can find me right now. It's the same on YouTube. It will be twitch.tv/Big Max in March, but we're getting there. We're getting it back.
Seems good. I am Draco Hominus 87 on just about any social media you want to try to look me up on. On fabric.gg, I write several different article series. The next one that I have written is going to come out on the 22nd, Friday the 22nd. I believe this is the one that I wrote about dealing with burnout and strategies on how to overcome it. So I think it's a good one. If you do read my stuff, let me know. Just let me know if you like this one. I think it came out pretty good. But yeah, look me up on any of those and yeah, talk to me.
And as a group, you could find us at Sick Crew on Twitter. You'll also see us commenting on any of the YouTube live events that pop up as Sibling and Cardboard Podcast.
Yep.
It's one of us, but it's usually Donnie.
Or me when I forget to switch accounts.
Or yeah, I forget to switch, but only when I'm going to bed watching YouTube videos. So you guys enjoy that. I watch a lot of Dark Souls stuff. So if anybody's wondering where that recommended stuff comes from, it's me. But don't forget to check out our pack openings too. Still doing daily pack openings, a bunch of stuff, random fun stuff. I got some special ones coming up on the 24th and 25th. Judge Pack 1 on the 24th, Judge Pack 2 on the 25th.
I was wondering where those.
So that's where they're coming.
I'm
I
excited.
haven't forgot
Okay.
about them. They're sitting there. I've already briefed everybody. So it's been fun. I actually get to go do my pack opening after this.
Okay.
So I've been enjoying it though. It's been fun. Nothing crazy so far, but we're getting there.
Seems good.
All right, wrap us up, Noah.
Let's go.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed catching up with us this week. And if you did, we need your help. The best way you'll help us is to leave a like and a comment. It makes a huge difference to new channels like ours when you engage with what you see. If you don't want to miss out on future casts, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell on YouTube so you know exactly when to find us again. Until then, take care of yourself and remember, we're all siblings in cardboard. Take care.
And thanks,
And
patrons.
Bye.
And thank you, Patreons. We love you. And discard your cards. Do it. Just throw them in there.